Good afternoon. Welcome to the forecast discussion for May 27th, 2014. It's currently 1:07 p.m. and we have a potential severe thunderstorm threat developing for this afternoon and evening, especially this evening for much of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, but focus specifically on the New York City metropolitan area and around the Hudson River Valley, and I'll show you why as I have a lot of data to go through, so let's get to it. First and foremost, let's take a look at the temperatures right now, ranging from the lower to mid 80s over Connecticut, mid to upper 80s on Long Island. That strong southwesterly flow is really taking hold. Same thing over New Jersey and the Philadelphia metropolitan area. Temperatures are generally in the mid 80s. Over Pennsylvania, temperatures are in the upper 70s to lower 80s. And the reason why is because showers and thunderstorms have started to break out there. And as a result, with more sky cloud cover or overcast cloud cover and rainfall, temperatures are naturally a bit cooler. It's also very humid out. So we have a tropical air mass in place, but as you look at the observations further to the north, say over New England, look at the temperatures falling off into the 50s and 60s. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your backdoor cold front, and that cold front is heading this way, and it's going to make itself known in a big way this afternoon and especially this evening, just in time for the rush hour. Now on the radar, we currently have showers and thunderstorms starting to develop, popcorn thunderstorms really, developing over portions of Pennsylvania. These thunderstorms are not associated with a cold front. They're associated with an upper level disturbance. The cold front is actually way back here over Michigan and then way up north here over portions of New England. In between there, we have a nice tropical air mass in place. And so as a result, we have these disturbances moving in and they're allowing these thunderstorms to develop in this tropical air mass. And so regardless of whether the backdoor cold front was coming or not this evening, these thunderstorms are going to develop just because of the nature of the atmosphere in place. So it's typical to see these type of thunderstorms. Are typical afternoon summer thunderstorms. It is 1 o'clock after all. We're getting very close to the time period where you see these thunderstorms erupt. You get one of these mid-level disturbances, and here you have it. So this is a bit of a curveball thrown into this forecast, because now with these thunderstorms initiating, you're developing what's called mesoscale boundaries, and these boundaries create havoc with the forecast. So you really have to keep an eye on how these thunderstorms develop, where those boundaries set up, and those boundaries can influence the strength of thunderstorms later on this evening, leading to very heavy rainfall, increasing wind shear, which I'll show in a moment, and also the threat, a higher threat, for even an isolated tornado because of that increasing wind shear. As far as the nature of the atmosphere itself, well, what this is the low-level lapse rate from basically the surface up to 3 kilometers in the atmosphere. And when you have these numerical values, this is basically the difference in temperature from the surface to the mid-levels of the atmosphere, say about 700 millibars. When you see a temperature difference greater than 6 degrees, that means that the atmosphere is becoming unstable. Right now, over much of the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area, we are over 7. And over central New Jersey, northeastern New Jersey, up through Connecticut, we're over 8. So clearly what we have here at the lower levels is a very unstable atmosphere. At the mid-levels of the atmosphere, basically from 850 millibars, or should I say 700 millibars on up through 500 millibars, we also have a very unstable atmosphere. Again, anything over 6 is considered an unstable atmosphere. And we have plenty of pockets here. Notice the pocket here lines up very nicely to where the thunderstorms are developing over Pennsylvania. So we have an environment here that is very unstable. Here's that cold pocket I was telling you about. Here's another one just off the New Jersey coast. So the overall theme here moving forward for this afternoon and evening is that the atmosphere is very unstable, supportive for strong to severe thunderstorms. So when we take a look at the infrared satellite picture, you can see here's our backdoor cold front lined up very nicely. Here's one disturbance moving through, but this is the main event here. Don't worry about this upper level low. It's going to minor out and won't have any impact on our forecast going forward. This is what we're going to be focusing on, because this backdoor cold front, as it's dropping south and west, not south and east, south and west, that's why it's called a backdoor cold front, will initiate large-scale complexes of showers and thunderstorms producing very heavy rainfall, and because of the increasing wind shear, which I'll show in a moment, will lead to the potential for severe thunderstorms that will feature very heavy downpours, hail, frequent lightning, and even an isolated tornado. And of course, wind gusts over 50 miles per hour. Now, when we take a look at the water vapor satellite picture, we can see this even more clearly. See this northwesterly flow? This is at from 500 millibars up to 250 millibars. So clearly what we have in place is a nice ridge with the polar jet stream over the Great Lakes down through the southeast. This is a subtropical disturbance undercutting that ridge. This will minor out and won't be a factor for us. But I wanted to point out because everyone's going to say, hey, what's that? This is part of the subtropical jet stream, an upper level low that cut off. It will spin over the Mississippi River Valley and basically minor out as time goes on. Meanwhile, notice we have a trough over the northwestern Atlantic. Here's an upper level low right around the Canadian Maritimes. So what happens? This upper level low combined with this ridge being on the northeast side of the ridge leads to convergence and confluence aloft right here, which enhances high pressure at the surface, which will be developing right here, which forces this backdoor cold front to the south, leading to a very stormy evening for the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Now you see how these winds aloft are from the northwest? Well, when we take a look at the winds from the mid-levels of the atmosphere at 850 millibars, they're from the west. So what's happening here is that they're intersecting each other and creating wind shear. So this is the effective bulk shear with knots in the atmosphere. And what we're seeing here is that shear is increasing and being focused primarily over the Hudson River Valley and a bit over the Mohawk River Valley. So what this is telling me is that we should see showers and thunderstorms with this backdoor cold front really start to fire over the Hudson River Valley and over portions of Massachusetts and drop south through Connecticut, through southeastern New York, towards Long Island, northern New Jersey, portions of northeastern Pennsylvania, and then central New Jersey. And as they drop south, they will be strong to severe. They will be capable of very heavy downpours, and of course frequent lightning, large hail, and the isolated tornado. So we're definitely looking for a very active severe weather period, unfortunately, for this evening into the late night hours. As far as the Philadelphia metropolitan area, you're further away from the shear, but you still have the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms, just not as widespread, and the atmospheric profile and the instability as far as the shear instability and energy involved in the atmosphere is not as impressive as what we're seeing over the Hudson River Valley. So if I'm going to focus on severe weather, most likely it's going to be over the Hudson River Valley and then dropping south. But don't let your guard down if you're in northeastern Pennsylvania, really all of eastern Pennsylvania and the Philadelphia metro down to the Jersey Shore until this whole complex clears out by tomorrow morning. Taking a look at the latest short-range model guidance. This is with the RAP model guidance, but I checked the HRRR model guidance, that it literally is named that, and also the NAM model guidance, and they all pretty much are in agreement in producing a cluster of showers and thunderstorms. Now here's the development of those thunderstorms over central and western Pennsylvania. They're associated with a separate mid-level disturbance that will enhance this whole pattern and lead to more boundaries and a more complicated complex of thunderstorms, which is why you can't let your guard down in southeastern Pennsylvania, really all of eastern Pennsylvania and the Philadelphia metro. But then you see this development of showers and thunderstorms over the the Hudson River Valley and the Mohawk River Valley. And you can see for this evening, between 9 and 10 p.m., those showers and thunderstorms just drop south through the New York City metropolitan area, down towards Cape May, New Jersey overnight tonight, with widespread showers and thunderstorms. Very heavy rainfall. Do not be surprised if you see flash flood warnings in your location and urban flood warnings. If you see an area where the road is submerged with water, please do not try to drive through it. It could be deeper than what you think. So use some caution tonight, drive very slowly, and use some common sense. So let's take a look at the latest model guidance from the Penn State UL website using the GFS model guidance. Again, for tonight, those showers and thunderstorms drop south They will be capable of reaching severe levels. The backdoor cold front moves through the region. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will basically be in the lower to mid 60s. It will feel kind of muggy out there. By tomorrow afternoon, that backdoor cold front is well to the south and west of the entire Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Temperatures struggling in the upper 60s to lower 70s. Don't be surprised along the coast if you're in the mid 60s, especially over Long Island. Then for Thursday, overcast skies once again. There'll be drizzle, some fog. It's just going to be raw out there on Thursday. Temperatures will range from the lower to mid 50s for lows, mid to upper 60s for highs, well below normal for this time of year. On Friday, that backdoor cold front will kind of wash out and we'll rebound a bit on temperatures. Still a bit overcast with some scattered showers around, but temperatures will be warmer in the lower to mid 40s for lows and lower to mid 70s for highs. So we're pretty much near normal for this time of year on Friday. Then on Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be pretty interesting because we're going to have high pressure and control. So excellent weather could be expected for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday throughout this entire period. However, notice at the surface, and I'm seeing this in various models, where you kind of have this boundary kind of set up over the region. It's very faint, but you can kind of make it out here. And the models are putting in all sorts of high pressure systems bouncing around here. Some days they're focused to the south, other days they're focused to the north. What this is telling me is that we have a northwesterly flow aloft, we have convergence and confluence over portions of Maine, we have a trough over the northern Atlantic, northwestern Atlantic, which means a backdoor cold front once again. So I think what we have set up here is a weak backdoor cold front where it doesn't produce a lot of cloud cover, but clearly you have a boundary setting up here. And I'm not buying the warm temperatures just yet based on what I'm seeing here because the models have been underestimating this cool air mass all spring and it'll likely continue to do so all summer. So what I think what we're going to see here is a rather impressive thermal gradient over the Ohio River Valley where it'll stay warm. However, for the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, I'm going to go cool here. I'm going to go below the model guidance. The model guidance ranges temperatures from the mid to upper 70s, pushing into the 80s on Monday and Tuesday. I'm not going with that. I'm going to stay cool here based on what we've seen so far this spring. So look for mid to upper 50s for lows. However, for highs, lower to mid 70s. Throughout the entire region, possibly upper 60s on Long Island, where we have a bit of a stronger influence with that onshore flow. But it's going to be very, very volatile, I think, in terms of the temperatures for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And I think this backdoor cold front that is clearly being advertised on the model guidance in a very faint way, but is clearly being supported by the mid and upper level pattern with a nice trough over the northwestern Atlantic just to the north of Maine, clearly would tell me that we should see more of an easterly flow. And so as a result, I would not be surprised if, let's say, Philadelphia is around 79, maybe even 80 degrees, and New York City is at 71 during this entire forecast period. I wouldn't also be surprised if the backdoor cold front is strong enough to push through Philadelphia, and instead of that 81 degrees on Monday, it ends up being 72 degrees. So we're going to have to watch that as we move forward into this upcoming weekend and early next week. Well, that is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. And as always, stay safe out there.